Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a brand new pick a card reading for you guys today, and today we are asking the question, which Barbie are you? And yes indeed, this reading is inspired by the Barbie movie. I recently saw it on actually Lionsgate 88, and I thought it was a wonderful movie. You know, it's definitely all about destroying the patriarchy and all that good stuff. I won't get into all the things about what the movie is about. If you've seen it already, you know. If you haven't, then I would say get out there and try to see this movie before it leaves the theaters. I don't even know if it's still in theaters or not right now. But anyway, Barbie's been a hot topic this summer regardless, so before we completely exit summer and head into fall, I figured this would be a really fun way to kind of wrap up summer and see what Barbie we are. And clearly we have this whole like Barbie kind of theme going on here, a whole pink motif with pink crystals and pink decks, pink oracle cards, so on and so forth. So this is definitely going to be a really fun reading to dive into, kind of a little bit more lighthearted kind of thing. So before we dive into the pile introductions and break down the options as to what you guys can choose from today, I just wanted to ask you guys to go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, because that always helps me a lot here when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. And I invite you guys to subscribe at this time if you have not already subscribed to my channel. And when you do, make sure you hit that notification bell, because every time you hit that notification bell, it will definitely keep you up to date on any and all updates coming through on the channel. So that's definitely a great way to keep up to date on things. Also, you guys, drop me a comment down below. Don't be shy. Feel free to say hi to my returning subscribers. I appreciate you so much. I am so incredibly grateful for you. I would not be here doing what I'm doing right now if it weren't for you guys. So yeah, that's kind of the breakdown for that stuff. And finally, you guys, if I resonate with you as a reader, I am open and available for personal private readings. So if you're interested in one of those, head on over to my website, shadowandshine.com, and you can check out a reading there. And there's a whole bunch of variety of ones, big ones, little ones, everything in between, whether it's in terms of length or budget. There's something there for everybody is what it comes down to. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested. That's also a great way for me to kind of help you guys out on more of a one-on-one level instead of just like a collective level like what we have going on here today. So that's basically the news there. So like I said, shadowandshine.com for readings or pretty much anything else you need to know. It's pretty much all there. So let's dive into our pile introductions, and you guys are welcome, of course, to pick. You can pick one deck. You can pick multiple decks here, or cards, piles, whatever you want to call it. You can pick multiple ones, you can pick one single one, just whatever calls to you the most, whatever your intuition feels guided to and feels called to, that's going to be the right pile for you. So pile number 1, we have some rose quartz. I mean, I feel rose quartz is probably the most Barbie of Barbie crystals you could ever possibly get. It just screams Barbie to me. Rose quartz is all about love, and of course it's pink, and this one's just like a really good, it's not a sphere, it's more like a really good palm stone. So yeah, this one is rose quartz for pile number 1. Pile number 2, we have this aura crystal kind of quartz crystal that is pink, and both piles 2 and 4, I actually got both of these crystals off of Amazon, funny enough. I'm not really someone who gets crystals off of Amazon all that often, Most of the time I prefer to get my crystals in person so I can really like feel them and touch them and hold them and kind of get the energy that's coming off of them. But these just seemed appealing from a distance, so I went ahead and got them. So this one is pile number 2. Pile number 3, we have a pink opalite heart. So yes, pink opalite. It's kind of got like this glowy kind of look to it and feel, and it's just a really nice heart. Once again, I feel it kind of screams Barbie. So pink opalite for pile number 3. And pile number 4, like I said, this is another Amazon find. It is a crystal cluster of pink is what it comes down to. It's a crystal cluster of pink. So, you know, sometimes we're drawn to something just because it looks pretty, and I don't feel like there should be any shame or any harm in that. Like, that's okay. You know, however something calls to you is how it calls. So this one is pile 4. Okay, so go ahead and select your pile or piles, and we're going to dive in and start here with pile number 1, our rose quartz group, to find out which Barbie you are. Hi, pile 1. If you chose rose quartz, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out which Barbie you are. I am so excited. So excited to dive into this one, you guys. I knew it was going to be unique. I knew it was going to be different and fun, so here we go. Okay, so the very first card we are going to pull here is probably the most obvious card of all. This is actually the Barbie the movie Uno card. So when I came up with the idea to do this reading, like, I had plenty of other decks that I could use and I could incorporate in this, but I was like, nothing is going to scream Barbie as much as, like, having some kind of, like, actual Barbie deck. Some kind of actual Barbie cards. So I went onto Amazon and I was searching through some of the Barbie cards, and I was like, you know what, let's just get a Barbie Uno deck. There's not really, like, a Barbie Oracle deck or anything. So I was like, let's go with Barbie Uno, and we'll throw one Uno card in for each group and basically see what happens. So that's what we're going to do here. So whatever Barbie you guys got on this Uno card is who you're going to get. So you guys got... Okay, so I don't know her name. But you guys have number 5 here. We have a pink background because, you know, every single one has like a different color. They have, like, in the Uno deck, there's like pink, yellow, blue, green, I think. I want to say. I might be wrong, but, you know, there's like 4 main colors or whatever. But you guys got the pink one, number 5. And while I don't know this Barbie's name, what I do know about her is you can see just by looking at, like, this area here of where she's sitting, she is in a wheelchair. So this is obviously like disability Barbie or handicap Barbie, or I'm not exactly quite sure what the appropriate term is for it, but definitely someone who seems to have a disability. Now, I'm not saying that you guys have a disability, like, oh, you guys are disadvantaged, you guys are disabled, or anything like that. Like, you could be perfectly fully bodied, fully abled, and all those things. On the flip side, maybe you are someone who does have some kind of disadvantage, even if it's not physical. You know, maybe there's something mentally going on or something like that. But the interesting thing that I kind of pick up on automatically with this Barbie is disadvantage is disadvantaged. Now, we can look at it on the surface and just think, you know, physical disability with this, but not everything has to be a physical disability. Like, maybe there are other ways that you have felt disadvantaged in your life. You know, maybe you came from a broken home. That's a disadvantage. Maybe you came from a home where there was abuse and neglect. Maybe you have struggled in friendships or in romantic partnerships or in finances. You know, there's all these different areas in life. And the truth is that We are all disadvantaged in some area, in some way of life. I actually had a friend a while back, and she has cerebral palsy. We do not keep in touch anymore, but I do remember one of the things that she always said is, just because someone is like fully bodied and fully abled doesn't mean that they don't have a disability. Like, everyone in a sense has a disability. Some people's disabilities are just more visible than other people's, and I completely agree with her. That's totally right. Your disability could be in the way you look at yourself, in the way you think about yourself. You could look at yourself as someone who is disadvantaged, and maybe you have a lot of blessings in your life and you have a lot of good things going on in your life, but you don't realize it. But it's kind of like the whole thing of like, everyone has their struggle, everyone has their thing that they're dealing with, and I feel like that's what this card represents, whether that is in its most literal form of expression here of disability, or whether that is, struggling with something else. Either way, though, I feel like this definitely shows that you are someone who has struggled, who has experienced what it's like to have some kind of disadvantage in your life. But on the flip side, look at the expression on this Barbie's face. She's smiling. She looks happy. She looks radiant. She's got her cute little pigtails that are all curled and her blonde hair, and she's wearing like this sunshiny, happy-go-lucky kind of outfit. Like, she doesn't look like someone who is upset just because she's in a wheelchair. So I feel like she's found a way to, kind of flip it upside down, let there be sunshine in the midst of her own struggles. And I feel like that's kind of what you channel and what you embody, even if you don't feel like you do at times. I feel like that's kind of the overall theme here with your Barbie of who you are, which is actually really cool. I feel like that's a really admirable Barbie to get to have. So we're going to kind of put her in the front here so we don't forget about her, because that's kind of like the key card here. But we do have a few others to go through. We're going to look at a few ice cream oracle cards. Once again, these are pretty in pink and great with some 411 to kind of elaborate here with the Barbie we already have. You guys have salted caramel, performances, costumes, mischief, pina colada, recreation, traveling, amusement, bubblegum, memories, nostalgia, childhood, and tiger, strength, dignity, and majesty. Okay, so we have a lot to get into here with these guys. Let's go back to the salted caramel first and foremost. Performances, costumes, and mischief. So I think there's something really interesting here, I feel, between this card and the pina colada, recreation, traveling, and amusement. I almost kind of feel like these two are tied in together in a way for you guys. Because when I think of performances and traveling, I think of like someone who's on the road. I think of someone who is on tour or something like that, like a musician or someone who's a part of like a traveling act, like a musical or something like that. So, this could just be for a very specific person that this message is coming through for here. But I feel like for somebody, these two cards go hand in hand, that you may be someone who is a performer of some kind. I'm definitely kind of strongly getting like the music industry. You could be a singer, you could be a dancer, you could be a performer of some sort who does a lot of traveling because you're on tour, and that is obviously like recreation and amusement for a lot of people. You could have to wear like a lot of costumes, obviously, when you're on stage. So I feel like these two kind of go together. So I feel like for somebody, this is something that you do. And, maybe the way you feel disabled when it comes down to this is, when you're a performer, you don't necessarily live a normal life. Your life is kind of weird and upside down, and a lot of like, muggles, I guess you could say, or normal people, quote unquote, don't really understand it and don't get it. You don't keep normal hours. You don't really work like a 9-to-5 job or any of those kinds of things. There are a lot of normal people who don't understand that. And maybe for you, that's where you feel disadvantaged. You feel like you don't really fit in. You kind of stick out. But this is a wonderful way to stick out, though. I feel like a lot of people, only dream and wish and desire to do this kind of thing is what it comes down to. So I strongly feel that for somebody. And maybe the reason why I feel that is because I myself have a background in the music industry. So I understand this from a personal level. So I definitely feel like that ties in somehow here for somebody. So yeah, and when it comes down to the bubblegum card, memories, nostalgia, and childhood, I feel like, this way that you have felt disadvantaged here, I feel like that's something that you have strongly felt since childhood, that you've always kind of felt like the odd one out, like, not like the ugly duckling or something like that, but just like, either the black sheep or, if you're a performer on stage, maybe you felt like the sparkly, shiny sheep and all the other sheep were kind of plain is the best way to describe it. And, it's like when you stick out, even if it is in a positive way, sometimes it can feel like a disadvantage because it's like, especially when you're younger, like if you have so much talent and you have so many gifts and everything, like, kids around you are not going to understand that energy, and a lot of times those kids will be jealous, and that's where a lot of like bullying and that kind of stuff comes in. And when someone is bullied and harassed just for like who they naturally are, just for shining like the sun, I mean, the sun doesn't shine to be seen. The sun shines because that's what it does. And I feel like that's all you've been doing in your life is just shining. Like, even if you look at this Barbie here, she kind of looks like a little ball of sunshine in her chair, is what it comes down to. So I feel like you guys feel like that. Like, you just are there shining, mind your own business. And, people who don't really get that may try to bring you down a peg or two. And that may have started in childhood. And unfortunately, that still may carry out today to a certain level. But I feel like this is something that's been going on since you were very young. So this is something you've kind of dealt with your entire life. And sometimes it's like you wish you could just be normal. But take it from another person who has never been normal a day in her life. Don't be normal. Normal is boring. Be weird. Be different. It's totally cool. It's totally okay. And the normals who react the way that they do negatively about it, they're doing that because it's an ass-backwards way of saying, hey, I wish I were more like that. But they don't know how to communicate that in a constructive and healthy way. Like, that's their coping mechanism, unfortunately. And finally, with strength, dignity, and majesty, this is the truth here, you guys. You guys are strong. You guys are strong as hell. You are strong as that tiger, is what it comes down to. So, don't stoop down to somebody else's level. You stand tall. Continue to have that dignity. You guys are much stronger than you realize. So, that's pretty clear and obvious right there. Okay. We also have a few cards here from the Millennial Oracle for you. All right. We have Bye Felicia, leaving and not caring. A goodbye for now, dismissing, over it, whatever. So I feel like this energy here, this Bye Felicia energy, it's very nonchalant. It's not someone who is, putting up a big goodbye that's super emotional, where it's like, oh my god, this is a horrible thing, I'm gonna miss you, blah blah blah. It's someone who's like, like, look at her, she's got the peace sign there, it's like, peace out, I don't care, I'm done, whatever. So I feel like when it comes down to people who do not understand you, who want to try and like keep you in that disadvantaged mindset, you need to say bye Felicia to them. They don't matter, is what it comes down to. Their opinions don't matter. So, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with like constructive feedback, but it's only constructive if it's actually helping you. If it's making you feel worse about yourself, if it's dragging you down, if you feel low in your spirit after a conversation like that, it's a conversation that was not for you. So you need to say peace out to that kind of energy. You have no room and no space for it. Ratchet. A person, just, I don't know why I'm finding this card so funny. It's just be ratchet. A person or place being wretched, behaving stupidly or reckless, nasty, unappealing, and inelegant, which is funny, like inelegant. I feel like that's the exact opposite energy from dignity here with the tiger. So I feel like this card kind of represents your haters, your doubters, the muggles who have tried to pull you down, and they're just like, be normal, be like us. Be like a normal 9-to-5 person or something. Which, once again, I understand. I understand the weirdo journey because I could not do normal for a single day of my life, no matter how hard I tried. So this by Felicia energy, it needs to go to these ratchet people. Not to people who mean well, because every once in a while there is going to be someone who comes along in your life and they're going to have like legitimate constructive feedback for you, but it's genuinely coming from a place where they want to help you, and chances are you're not going to feel awful after that exchange. You'll feel fine. But it's the people who mean ill will. It's the people who hand you those ass backwards compliments and stuff like that. And we have on fleek, feeling you've got it going on. A taste of completeness. Perfect. Flawless. On point. This is the truth of who you really are. You are on fleek. You are. Like, just accept it. You're on fleek. And that's that. It can be hard to accept that sometimes, that we are awesome. It's like there is this spot in societal conditioning that says you have to be humble. You can't toot your own horn, kind of a thing. Be humble at all times. And I'm not saying to become arrogant and to, suddenly feel like you can never do wrong or anything like that. Like, there's the opposite extreme of humble, which obviously you don't want to go down that route either. But it's okay to acknowledge when you did something right, when you're going in a good direction. Like, it's okay to do that. So just own up to it. You're on fleek. And other people do notice this about you. And we have humble brag, which is kind of funny. I feel like that kind of goes with our on fleek card. Don't be so obvious. Read between the lines. Self-promoting, disguised brag. So, yeah, obviously don't be fake, don't be phony, that kind of thing. And I don't feel like you guys would be. I don't feel like you would be phony about it. But it's okay to acknowledge your strengths, like, in a genuine and honest way. As long as it's coming from a genuine place, it's not going to come across as, like, a humble brag or anything. Now, sometimes I feel like these ratchet people may kind of, take, you acknowledging your own talents as a humble brag. But once again, don't let them get you down. You know your heart and you know your intentions better than anyone else. So trust them. Finally, for our last card, you guys, we have a Britney Spears Oracle card, because who else in a real life celebrity example kind of embodies Barbie the most, more than Britney herself? So what Britney did you get? You got the mother, and it says on the shirt, I have the golden ticket. So the mother, I kind of take this as a couple of different things. Number one, it could be confirmation in a very literal sense of the word, that you are a mother, or that you will be a mother, that you're an expecting mother, that you have the desire to be a mother, that there's some, there's some connection there when it comes down to motherhood, whether that means you're currently one or you will be one in the future. But aside from that, I feel like if anything, this card embodies the characteristics of motherhood, which is someone who is very nurturing, is what it comes down to. Someone who's nurturing and understanding and protective, and who will provide for her children and be there for her children, do all those things. And I feel like you probably do that with your friends, with your family, with your pets. You may be the mom of the friend group, for example. So there's definitely like this mothering and nurturing side that comes from you. And I feel like one of the reasons why you have that mothering and that nurturing side is because you have felt disadvantaged in some ways in your life. And it's like, when you see other people struggle, when you see other people go through difficulties, it's like you kind of want to rescue them from that. And you don't want to see them go through that because you yourself have already lived that and been there and done that. And that's very admirable. And I'm sure there are instances where that's okay. I would say just as a warning when it comes to that is try not to rescue somebody who can't be rescued. That can be one of the dangers, of course, when it comes to that very mothering and nurturing aspect, is sometimes we can get lost in wanting to rescue someone that we can't rescue. If they're not open for that, if they're not available for that, if they're not receptive for that, there's nothing you can do unless that person wants that for themselves. So in those cases, you kind of have to learn how to mother and nurture yourself in those situations, to be like, okay, well, it hurts, but I'm going to have to let that person go and let that person live and do as they may, and hopefully it all makes sense and works out in the end. And that can be one of the harshest lessons, but like I said, it comes from a beautiful place. It comes from a beautiful place where you genuinely love others, you genuinely care about others, and you just want to see people live their best lives, which is a wonderful thing. So that's basically what I have going on for you guys in regards to which Barbie you are. It's definitely a beautiful energy, a gorgeous energy to embody. So you guys are definitely a beautiful Barbie, and I was so happy to be able to bring you guys this reading and let you guys know about that. So as always, you guys, if the message didn't flow, just let it go. But if it did make sense, now you know. Before you guys head on out of here, once again, if you didn't do this already at the beginning of this video, I ask you to do this now. Please give this video a big thumbs up, because that definitely helps me out a lot. It helps me get seen here on the YouTube algorithm. Drop me a comment down below. Say hi. I would love to hear from you. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, I invite you to subscribe at this time and hit that notification bell, because that way then you will be up to date and in the know of all the updates that come your way available through this channel. And if I resonate with you as a reader, head on over to my website, shadowandshine.com. There are plenty of readings over there available for you guys to check out. So if you're interested in getting your own personal private reading, that's a great way to do so. And it's a great way for me to connect with you guys on a more personal one-on-one level, to really help you out individually more so than just on this collective level that we have here on YouTube. So yeah, that's basically it. Returning subscribers, I love you. I appreciate you so much. You guys are awesome, amazing. I always want to say a little hi and a little shout out to you guys before, of course, heading on to the next pile or the next video. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a beautiful, wonderful, magical Barbie land kind of day. Keep sparkling. I'm sending you lots of hugs and much love. And like I said, keep sparkling. Hi, Pile 2, if you chose this pink aura crystal quartz cluster from Amazon, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out which Barbie you are. Ooh, I'm excited, you guys. Pile 1 was already off to a great start. And our first card up for you guys, this is basically the determining Barbie for you. So naturally, with this being a Barbie pick-a-card reading, I really wanted to find like some kind of Barbie card to actually throw into the mix here. And there's no like Barbie Oracle deck. There should be. That's a genius idea. But there's no Barbie Oracle deck. So I was browsing around Amazon trying to find like Barbie decks, I guess you could say. And of course, Barbie the movie, Uno deck, that was out and available. And I was like, you know what, that's fine. Let's get it. There are Barbies on there. It'll tell us something. It can give us something. So that's what I went with. So let's see which Barbie you guys got. Oh, number 1 in the blue, you guys got stereotypical Barbie. So obviously, stereotypical Barbie is just that. She's your stereotypical Barbie. She's the one who wears the pink and has the long blonde hair and, you know, basically has that perfect Barbie-esque Barbie. So there may be a lot of ways in your life where maybe you are kind of stereotypical, I guess, like the stereotypical version of however that is that looks for you. Like, because, I mean, stereotypical Barbie doesn't necessarily have to mean, you know, like, oh, you're tall, you have blonde hair, you wear pink. Of course, it could mean that too. You know, you could take that quite literally. But, you know, if we're looking at the stereotypical aspect of that, you know, you're basically looking at what is the norm of a particular type of person, because she is considered the norm of a particular type of Barbie. So, you know, like if you're a nurse, for example, maybe you are seen as the stereotypical type of nurse. If you're a teacher, maybe you're seen as the stereotypical type of teacher. If you're a stay-at-home mom, maybe you're seen as the stereotypical stay-at-home mom. So whatever it is that kind of plays in your area of life, you're probably seen as like the norm, the ideal in whatever that role is. So that's kind of what I take stereotypical Barbie here to be about. So we're just going to put her here right in the front because she is kind of our guiding light here in the rest of our reading. We're also going to get into several more cards here from a few other decks. And I knew someone was going to get stereotypical Barbie. I mean, there's no doing a Barbie reading without there being like a stereotypical Barbie. So voila, here we go. Okay, so first we have some cards from the Ice Cream Oracle. It looks very Barbie-esque, obviously, with the pink. And I feel like, you know, the Barbies in Barbie Land would have no problem enjoying some ice cream. So let's see what you guys got there. We have Peppermint, Conscious, Realization, Awakening. Strawberry, Immunity, Vitality, Relationships. Cookies and Cream, Guilty Pleasures, Indulgence, Temptation. And we have Clean, Detoxify, Release. Okay, so I do kind of get the feeling that you guys are going along very much the same kind of route stereotypical Barbie goes along in her journey during the movie. So we are actually going to start here with our strawberry card, Immunity, Vitality, and Radiance. So obviously, stereotypical Barbie, she is seen as pure radiance is what it comes down to. You know, she is seen as all things beauty, all things vitality, all things youthful and young. You know, she's kind of seen as someone where it's like nothing negative, nothing bad could happen to her. She's immune from it. But funny enough, early on in the movie, she suddenly gets flat feet. And that is seen as like a shock and a surprise to all the other Barbies in Barbie Land. And, it's not considered a good thing, is what it comes down to. Everyone considers this horrible negative thing, right down to the fact that she gets like a little patch of cellulite on her leg, and it's like, what is that, So even though she's seen as someone who is perfection, radiant, and all these other things in so many ways, the truth is she's not immune. She's not immune to imperfection. So there could be times in life where you yourself are experiencing that, imperfections, that people may see you as someone who's very radiant and beautiful, and you have it all together. And, maybe it's not even that you do have it all together. Maybe you're just really good at putting on a show. You could be someone who is excellent at like painting the perfect social media presence or something, but it's like a total shit show behind the scenes. I'm not saying that it is, but I'm just saying that there could be this aspect even within yourself where you're able to show things and showcase things in a much more beautiful way than what it actually seems to be. And then we have cookies and cream, guilty pleasures, indulgence, temptation. So there is kind of this aspect with Barbie in general that kind of displays this, almost kind of like this, what is going on down here? I'm sorry. I heard like a weird noise. Tinkerbell is digging in her bed right now. I was like, what is going on? Anyways, so there is kind of like this element with Barbie where, obviously she's not a baby doll. She is someone who is strong and independent, and, she's worked all these different jobs. She's been an astronaut and she's been a doctor and all these other different things. But there's almost like this sexualized aspect of Barbie, I guess you could say, her in her bikini on the beach and this, that, and the other kind of thing. And, there's almost like this temptation aspect when it comes down to her, because there is kind of like this sexualized version of her. And when she walks into the real world, out of Barbie world in the movie, she experiences this, her and Ken, they go up to like this group of guys asking for help, and they all wind up sexualizing her, which was weird and different for her because that just is not a thing in Barbie land. That does not happen. So there may be times where people may kind of even do that to you, and you kind of experience that yourself, where people may want to kind of like indulge in what you have. That, I don't feel like it's anything that you're putting out there. It's not your job to control how somebody else responds to you. But I do feel like there could be people out there who, sometimes may look at you as like this temptation, this thing they want to ravish and indulge in, even if you don't necessarily want them. I feel like that may kind of be a thing that's there, just because it's like you may have like this idealized image, this persona that they perceive in a certain way where it's like they want that. They want to be a part of that. And if it's not in like a sexualized way, it could be in a way of like, oh, I want to be a part of your group. I want to be a part of your friends. I want to be, like a part of whatever's going on in your life kind of thing. So I definitely kind of feel like you may have a lot of pick-me men and pick-me women from a standpoint of like friends probably surrounding you in a certain point. But I feel like you are a much deeper person than that, because we have conscious realization and awakening. So I feel like you have been going through your awakening similar to what stereotypical Barbie went through in the movie. When she took a journey into the real world and she discovered what patriarchy was, and Ken discovered what patriarchy was, and he basically ran with it and everything. She discovered a flip-flopped world. She discovered a world that was completely opposite of her own in Barbie Land, one that wasn't perfect, one where women were exploited, one where, men, like, basically had everything that they wanted, is what it comes down to, and women were treated as second-class citizens. And it was this awakening moment for her that life is not always perfect. And even after she went back to Barbie Land and they were able to restore Barbie Land to its original glory before the Kens messed with it and everything, she wasn't okay with going back to being asleep, is what it comes down to. She wasn't okay with going back to being asleep as a Barbie in Barbie Land, just kind of blissfully happy, going about her every day. You know, it's like she had experienced and felt too much that she couldn't go back. She was finally ready to become real, you know, like the equivalent of Pinocchio becoming a real boy, or the Velveteen Rabbit becoming a real rabbit. She was ready to become a real woman, a real human woman is what it came down to, right down to her gynecologist appointment at the end of the movie. But the point is, she couldn't go back. She couldn't go back to being blissfully unaware. She was too awake. She had experienced the array of too many emotions. And I feel like that's where you're at. Like, you know what it's like to be blissfully unaware, and you know what it's like to feel emotions to incredible depths and experience intense vulnerability, and there's no turning back. Like, even if you wanted to, like, it's too late now. Like, you know too much, you've seen too much, you've felt too much. So, you know, you've definitely been through this huge transformation in regards to your awakening, is what it comes down to. And then we have the lemon, clean, detoxify, release. And this is a huge part of the awakening process, because usually after we awaken, you know, spirit has a way of taking things out of our lives that no longer serve us, that no longer align with who we are and where we're going. And there can be a big clean out of stuff that happens in our lives, whether it's a job that we lose, friendships, relationships, family members. You may wind up moving, like even like the physical location of where you live, like your home may not even be good for you to be living at anymore. You know, this can happen in so many ways, shapes, and forms, but it's a way of cleaning and clearing out, because it's like the old stuff that was there, you know, that's gunk and it's garbage that is not going to help you in like this new skin that you're in, is what it comes down to. So it's got to be cleaned out, and you may be experiencing that right now. And because of that, I mean, it sounds great, you know, things being cleaned and everything, but it can actually be really painful when you're going through that. So you could be going through a trial of a time right now. And that's not always easy, but, you know, remember, you're also stereotypical Barbie here. And she is loved and she is admired by many. And if she can get through it, hell, you can get through it too. And if you have any doubt, all you gotta do is tell yourself, hey, I'm stereotypical Barbie. I can do anything. And that's the truth. You really can. Okay, we have some cards here from the Millennial Oracle. Give us a little bit more context. And you guys have FOMO, fear of missing out, fear of missing an opportunity, feeling pressured, choices. So I feel like when that cleaning process may be going on, of walking away from things that no longer serve you, you may experience some of that FOMO. There may be a part of you that's like, but wait a minute, I'm missing out on this. But wait a minute, I'm missing out on that. Because that used to be your life. That was, you know, your old life. Those were your old friends. That was the old way of doing things. But you're not missing out on anything. You know, all you got to do is think about how it was before and ask yourself, do I really miss that? Do I really, really miss that? Chances are not really. If anything, this FOMO is coming from a place of desiring comfort. But in the end, what you're missing is not going to give you comfort. So don't entertain those FOMO feelings, though. They're fickle. As quickly as they come, they will pass. So, you know, feel it in that moment. Like, it's okay to feel it. I'm not saying to, like, suffocate those emotions and press them down, because you should never push anything down. Feel it in its trueness and its authenticity in that moment, but then release it and let it go. Throw shade, being rude towards someone, being liked, not being liked by someone, insult, slick, disrespect. So I feel like this is the energy of the people who may be a part of your past that you're leaving behind in that detoxifying. A lot of the times when we go through that, people from the past are not going to understand. And they're not going to understand because it's not their journey. It's not their journey. It's not their show. It's not their awakening. And this doesn't mean that these people are necessarily bad people. It just means you guys are on two different paths now. You know, you have your path and they have theirs. And it's just not aligned is what it comes down to. And something being not aligned anymore, it doesn't mean something is bad. It just means that it's different. And it's not your responsibility for somebody else's emotions and somebody else's reactions to your choices. You're not intentionally trying to hurt these people. So, you know, if they're internalizing this as something that is worse than what it really is, once again, just like you may have to sit in your feelings of FOMO for a little bit, they may have to sit in their feelings of, like, they have to throw shade for a little bit. But hopefully they'll get over it and they'll get past it and they'll realize, hey, you know, if this person really was a decent person, they'll eventually accept it and they'll be like, you know what, that's okay. It's probably for the best. They have their path, I have my path. You know, we can be respectful to one another and civil towards one another and not be intertwined in one another's lives anymore. And you have Bae, before anyone else, someone special, pet name, lover, couple, love life. So, you know, part of this cleaning out, it could be connected to your love life. It could be kind of the Ken and Barbie scenario. I mean, once again, in the movie, and I know I've made a lot of movie references on this one in particular with pile number 1. I didn't make anywhere near as many of the movie references, but you guys got stereotypical Barbie, so there's kind of a lot to unpack with her. But in the movie, if you haven't seen it, Ken, you know, he really likes Barbie. You know, he really has a lot of feelings for her. But the reality is, Barbie doesn't feel the same way about him. She kind of friend zones him. And she just doesn't feel that way. Like, she likes him as a person, as a friend, as a human being, but, or as a doll, whatever you want to put it as, but she doesn't feel that way towards him. And Ken, one of the reasons why he goes down the rabbit hole he does with the patriarchy is because he feels like this is the way that he can win Barbie back. This is the way that he can win her affections and her attention. And that, you know, he is going to be the one on top because, you know, that's what patriarchy is all about. And, you know, she's the woman, so she needs to listen to him. And, you know, it's like the nice guy trope where he's like, I'm a nice guy, therefore she's supposed to like me. But we all know the guys who actually say that they're nice guys are never the nice guys. That's kind of what he goes down. So you could be kind of experiencing like this Ken and Barbie kind of situation. You know, like at the very beginning of the movie, Ken is like, you know, I'd really like to stay over tonight. And Barbie's like, why? What do you want to do? And Ken's like, I don't know. and then Barbie's like, okay, but I just don't want you here. And he gets really upset about that. So Bae here could be Ken, your own personal Ken. He may be a part of the stuff here that needs to be released, that needs to be detoxified, that needs to be cleansed here. And then we have staycation, a vacation spent at home, enjoying local attractions, mini vacation on a budget. So, you know, sometimes the best way to kind of get like refocused and recentered as we are detoxifying a lot of this garbage in our life, as we are going through this awakening and everything, is to just stay at home, kind of, ground yourself and take some time to just enjoy some quality time with you. Sometimes, like for me, sometimes my most favorite days are just like staying at home, chilling out on the couch with my 2 chihuahuas, and we'll watch like Disney Plus or something like that. Something on Disney Plus, and just have like a good day at home, make some coffee at home and just snuggle up, and it'll just be a nice day. So do something at home just to make you happy. And I don't mean like start a project or clean your house or any of those kinds of things, because it's easy to get sucked into like that whirlwind when we're spending a day at home too. But I don't mean like spend a day working at home. Spend a day enjoying your space at home is what it comes down to. So finally, last but not least for you guys, we have a Britney Spears card from the Britney Oracle deck, because in terms of a real life celebrity, I feel like Britney kind of embodies that Barbie image. So let's see what Britney you guys got. You got the Starlet. And I feel like the Starlet is definitely very stereotypical Barbie. She's someone that everyone looks up to. She's someone that everyone admires. Everyone wants to be like. So I feel like that kind of just like reiterates the stereotypical Barbie mold here. They look kind of similar here in these two cards too, which is kind of wild. So that is basically what I have for you guys here in terms of which Barbie you are. This reading was so much fun for me to do. I love doing like fun, unique, quirky readings like this. So if the message didn't flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did resonate, now you know. And before you guys head on out, once again, if you haven't already at the beginning of this video, I would ask that you do so right now. Please give this video a big thumbs up, because once again, that helps me out a lot in terms of being seen here on the YouTube algorithm. Drop me a comment down below. Don't be afraid to say hi. Don't be shy. I don't bite, I promise. And if you guys haven't subscribed already, I invite you at this time to go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get any and all updates whenever they come in through my channel. That is a great way to keep in touch. And to all of my returning subscribers, of course, I appreciate you and I love you so much. And I always like to give you guys a little shout out, because I think that's important to let you guys know that you're always appreciated. So yeah, that's basically that. And once again, you guys, if I resonate with you as a reader, you are always welcome to check out my website, shadowandshine.com. And I have plenty of readings available up there for you guys to choose from. Like I said, big, small, everything in between. And it is a great way for me to be able to help you guys out on a more one-on-one level, aside from just here on YouTube, which I would love to be able to do and help you a little bit more on a personal level in your own journey. So check that out if you feel interested in that and called to do so. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing, Barbie-tastic, wonderful day. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the pink opalite heart, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out which Barbie you are. So exciting! I am loving this reading right now, you guys. Pile 1 and 2 were already awesome sauce. So excited to dive into pile 3 here. And our first card, which is kind of our shining diamond of a card here, is the Barbie movie Uno card. So when I came up with the idea to do this reading, I really wanted to incorporate some kind of Barbie card, Barbie deck or something like that, because I was like, how can we not? It's Barbie. And while there is no Barbie Oracle deck, from what I can tell out there, there are plenty of, like, you know, Barbie playing decks and that kind of thing for little girls. And I went on to Amazon, and of course the Barbie movie Uno deck was there, and I was like, perfect, you know what, I'll grab one of these. And they all have like different Barbies on the different Uno cards, so I was like, perfect, we'll go with this. I'm sure it's going to make sense and resonate in this reading one way or another. And so far, it seems to be going just right. So let's see what you guys got for your Barbie Uno card. You guys... Okay, this one I honestly have to think about here for a minute. Okay, so there were like a couple where it was really hard for me to tell like which Barbie they were, basically. So you guys got this green one. You know, they have green, blue, yellow, and pink, I believe, are the colors in this Uno packet. And you guys got the reverse card. So this Barbie, she is kind of wearing like a, looks like it's not a onesie outfit. It looks kind of like one, but you know, she's kind of sitting there, just kind of hanging out, looking cool and everything. She's wearing some glasses. She's got these gorgeous curly tendrils. So it's kind of hard to tell which one this is, out of the Barbie group. It doesn't necessarily specify which one she is. And when I was looking at all the different types of Barbies from this deck before I shuffled the cards and put them all together and everything, like, it was her, and I think there was one other one where I was like, I do not know exactly which this one is. So we're going to kind of put her to the side for a minute. We're going to come back to her. I'm curious to see what the rest of the cards say. And maybe they'll give us some clues a little bit as to who she is. And who knows, if there's something about this Barbie in particular that already resonates with you or stands out for you, then by all means, you know, take that. You know, this is your reading. This is also open to your own personal interpretation, aside from what I say. So we're going to come back to her in just a minute. But just kind of what I pick up from her already is someone who's just like very laid back, very chill. You know, she's happy, she's got a smile on her face. I get like a very chill, very relaxed kind of energy. But like I said, let's get into the cards. Let's find out more information, right? So from the Ice Cream Oracle deck, also very Barbie-esque here, we have Banana Walnut, Cracking Codes, Learning, Observing. Interesting. Moon Mist, Astral Travel, Visions, Visitations. Pumpkin Spice. Well, hey, Pumpkin Spice, the return of everything Pumpkin Spice has happened very recently, you guys. Just a few days ago, Starbucks released the 20th anniversary of the Pumpkin Spice Latte back out. And did you guys know, this is wild. So I was at the grocery store this past week, and I was going to get some ice cream because it's been unbelievably hot, of course. And, you know, ice cream is a great dessert for cooling down. And they have eggnog ice cream out already. It is August. And they have eggnog ice cream out already. I was so excited. Of course, I grabbed some. This was at King Soopers. So if you are in Colorado, go to King Soopers and get eggnog ice cream. It is there. If you're not in Colorado, basically whatever your Kroger store is, because it's the Kroger brand ice cream. So whoever carries Kroger brand stuff for you, you know, whether that's like Ralph's, I know in LA. I don't know what else is there that's Kroger. Mariano's in like Chicago. So yeah, whoever carries Kroger for you, they have the eggnog ice cream. So anyways, that's a whole other separate tangent. I got really excited when I saw the pumpkin spice. Harvest, prosperity, and fortune. And chocolate, purpose, roots, depth. Okay, so we're going to go with our banana, walnut, and chocolate here first, which is definitely an energy I was like getting to in the first place. So first of all, I feel like you're someone who's very grounded. That's probably one reason why you're able to be as chill as you are, is I feel like you're someone who's very grounded. You're not someone who gets like off on a tangent out of like being super fired up, or like someone who's just like living in their head all the time. I feel like you're someone who really does like keep your feet on the ground, and it's like even if you are stuck in an illogical situation, I feel like you're very practical about it. Like, okay, this situation is total nonsense right now and it's not very good, but let's like really break it down to see what's going on here so we can fix it. And I feel like that's where that banana walnut comes in, with cracking codes, learning, and observing. I feel like you're definitely the kind of person to maybe kind of watch and observe the world going on around you before you speak, before you say anything. Kind of like, she's sitting here just chilling out. It's like she's observing through her glasses in a sense. So I definitely feel like you may be that kind of a person. I feel like either you are an introvert or you at least come across as an introvert to other people. Like if something is going on, you may not be reacting and you may not be saying anything, and people may look at you like, why aren't you saying anything? Why are you not like putting in your 2 cents? Why don't you have an opinion on this? And it's not that you don't have an opinion, it's just that for you, you feel it's more important to really watch and observe everything before you either completely form that opinion or decide to actually voice that opinion, which is smart. So yeah, I feel like you're definitely someone who really observes your world around you. You're kind of like a lifelong learner, and that doesn't necessarily have to be just in the classroom, but when it comes to just life, period. And with the cracking codes, therefore, it's like you're able to kind of like, you're able to crack the secrets of life around you. I mean, it could be like quite literally like coding, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. I feel like that's you just like cracking the codes of life open. Figuring things out that most normal people would not figure out. It's like you're very emotionally intelligent, and that comes from a lot of observance of just like human nature and human behavior. Then we have chocolate, purpose, roots, and depth. So once again, we have roots here, we have depth here. That comes with being grounded. So I feel like you're someone who, you may have a lot of earth energy in your chart. I'm definitely kind of picking up on someone who's got those heavy earth placements. So, a lot of either Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. A lot of that. It doesn't necessarily have to be like your sun sign, but I feel like there's a lot of that somewhere in your birth chart. And I feel like when it comes down to purpose, that you only engage yourself in things that you're going to find purpose in. Like, you're not someone who does something just for the sake of doing it. You're not someone who does something because everybody else is doing it. It's like peer pressure or something. No, you choose to do something because you genuinely see the purpose in it for yourself and how this is going to benefit your life and possibly others' lives around you in it. So you may be a little bit more slow moving in a sense when it comes down to making decisions or taking actions or speaking up on things in your life, especially in comparison to others around you. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that it's a very good thing, and if anything, a lot of people may misunderstand that about you, and people may just think like you're either like lazy or indifferent about things, or that you don't care or whatever. But I don't think it's any of those things. It's just because you're very pragmatic about things and practical about things, and it's like, when you do take action, when you do say something, it's like people will know you're definitely serious, because that's where that purpose comes in. So it's just like, yes, like she meant that one, like she means what she says what she means, kind of a thing. And then with moon mist, astral travel, visions, and visitations. I feel like this kind of goes back into the whole cracking codes thing. Even though you are someone who is very grounded and you may take your time in terms of making your choices and speaking your mind and everything, it's also because you know what's going on behind the scenes. You are one of those people. You have cracked the codes. You know what's going on more so than anybody else from a spiritual perspective. You can read between the lines. You can read a room. You're very emotionally intelligent. You're quite a bit psychic and intuitive yourself. And that's why I'm saying here, maybe that's why you guys got the Barbie that you did, because you can probably look at this Barbie and intuitively you know what she's all about. You know who she is. You know whether this is your girl or not. So yeah, I feel like you guys just know. You guys just know stuff. With that astral travel, you're probably one of those people who, when you go to sleep at night, you never feel like you sleep at night because you're out there astral traveling. And if you're one of those people, I feel your pain because I go through that a lot myself. It's not fun. It's like, can I not just rest for the night for the sake of resting? Do I have to always be out there doing things in astral traveling world? Yeah, it's exhausting, but you probably do that a lot. So yeah, but like I said, I feel like you're definitely someone who's very, very intuitive, very psychically gifted. And that's probably just another reason why you know the importance and the value of this grounding, because I feel like you know that if you just lived in astral travel land and like the 5D and all that kind of stuff, I feel like you know that you would definitely be like one of those crazy woo-woo people whose feet were never on the ground. And I feel like you understand the importance of, yes, this exists and this is important, but we are also spiritual beings having a physical experience. And because you understand the value of that physical experience, I feel like you also understand that it's important to be grounded and to still be present in that existence, despite having those giftings. And then we have pumpkin spice, harvest, prosperity, fortune. That's just kind of a beautiful energy to embody overall. This could quite literally be in reference to like right now, because it is harvest season. It is pumpkin spice time. But most importantly, I feel like that, it's basically saying that like your own personal harvest, your own personal time of prosperity, it's coming for you. It's coming. And I feel like it's coming because you've been doing the right things. You're being chill about things. You're not freaking out. You're grounded. You know what's up because you're in tune. So because of all those things, because you're handling things in a good way, you're going to have that harvest. It's coming. It's coming its way for you. Very cool. All right. So next up, we have some messages from the Millennial Oracle. Because, a lot of us millennials played with Barbies once upon a time. So first up, we have influencer. Having the power to influence. Monitor your reputation, marketing, persona, persuader. So, this could be confirmation that you are an influencer. So you could take this in its quite literal capacity. Maybe you are someone who does have an online presence. Maybe this is what you do for a living, that you are an influencer. If it's not, I feel like this is basically confirming the fact that you do have influence in your world. Like, that's the definition of what an influencer is. An influencer is not just someone who gets on TikTok and does a 30-second dance and makes money from it. The purpose of influence is you are inspiring somebody else, that you are influencing their ideas, their thoughts, the way that they live their life, that you have an impact on this person. And you don't just have to be online to do that. So I feel like you simply have influence in whatever space you do have, and whatever your giftings are, you do have influence. And that's powerful. And that's the other thing too, usually when we think of influencer, we think of someone who has thousands or millions of followers. You don't have to have thousands or millions of followers to be an influencer. You could be influencing just one person, and just influencing one person alone makes you an influencer because you are having an impact on that person's life. You are having an impact on how that person feels, what that person thinks, what that person chooses to do next. You have an impact there, and once again, influence can be a good thing or a bad thing. There are a lot of influencers out there who, may not have the best reputation and may influence their audience in a negative ways. Just like you have influencers out there who impact their audience in positive ways. So the term influencer in itself is neither positive nor negative. I feel like it's just a reminder that you do have influence in the world around you, even if it's just one person. And I feel like it's just a reminder that, be aware of that influence. And I feel like you are definitely someone who is aware. And the more aware that you are, the more that you'll be able to make sure that the influence that you are having on other people, no matter how big or small that number is, that influence will always be for the better. We also have sipping tea. Careful who you listen to. Listen to constructive criticism, listening to gossip and news. So this is one of the catch-22s when it comes to being an influencer, is if you are out there on a public platform in any kind of public capacity and you are influencing others, there's always going to be someone out there who's going to feel that they have tea on you, even if they don't really have tea on you, but there's always going to be someone who thinks that they do, who has something negative to say. So I don't feel like the sipping tea is like it's you who's sipping tea, because, let's be real. Someone who's grounded, someone who is intuitive and in touch with the world, they're not going to be spreading gossip and that kind of thing. This is like, low vibe, negative kind of stuff. And I don't feel like, look at her. Is she getting involved with low vibe, negative stuff? No, of course not. But that doesn't mean that there aren't people around her who will, because, look at her sour expression on her face. Of course she's going to be kind of like mad and jealous of her, just like, sitting there chilling, hanging out, enjoying her best life. So there may always be people around you who have something negative to say. They may not like the influence that you do have. Don't pay any attention to them. Let them sit on their sip their tea and live in their little miserable world. You're not responsible for their misery. Extra, over the top, trying too hard, completely unnecessary, excessive, dramatic, out of place. So I feel like that's, once again, those sipping the tea people. I feel like, once again, if you're someone who has a lot of influence, these may be very extra type of people who may be trying to get your attention. And if you don't give them that attention, that may be when they turn to wanting to spill tea on you where there is no tea to spill, obviously. But that's a very manipulative position to put someone in. It's like, if you don't pay attention to me, I'm gonna blah 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 blah, all this bad stuff. No, don't give them attention. Obviously, you are someone who, like I said earlier, seems to be very emotionally intelligent. So I feel like you are aware of this emotional immaturity is what it comes down to, because that's what this is. This is someone who is seeking validation from you when they need to find validation within themselves, is what it comes down to. And then we have vibe. A sense about something, listen to your intuition, a feeling, aura. And look at this. This last girl, she looks so much like the first one. Now, minus the fact that, this one's sitting crisscross applesauce and this one isn't. They're both kind of like, doing like this kind of thing with their fingers, and they both have the curly hair, and they're both just kind of vibing. They're both just kind of hanging out. So I feel like we've kind of come full circle here with this energy of who you are and what you exude to the world. It's very like calm, cool, chill kind of energy. Finally, you guys, last but not least, we have a Britney Spears card here for you because, who else kind of embodies the epitome of Barbie in like a real life example celebrity sense? None other than Miss Britney Spears herself. And let's see what Britney you guys got. The movie star. So I think this card is kind of like the example of like when she did Crossroads like 20 years ago. So, the movie star, it's someone who walks the red carpet and has their premiere and, is kind of living their life. And it's just a very chill, relaxed kind of feeling. So, shine and sparkle like the star you are. Don't dim your light. Don't dim your light for these, extra sipping tea kind of people. Just, leave them in the dust. Who cares? But yeah, shine like the star you are. So those are basically the Barbie messages that I have for you guys and which Barbie that you are. So hopefully you enjoyed this fun and unique reading. I definitely enjoyed doing it. If the message didn't flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did resonate, now you know. And always, as always, you guys, once again, like I said in the beginning of this video, if you could please give this video a big thumbs up, that would definitely help me out a lot in terms of the YouTube algorithm. And of course, drop a comment down below. Don't be shy. Feel free to say hi. I would love to hear from you. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, I invite you now to go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because that way then you will be up to date and in the know of any and all updates as they come through on this channel. And of course, to my returning subscribers, I love you and I appreciate you so incredibly much. I always feel like it's important for me to say hi to you guys and give you a little shout out because, well, I wouldn't be here without you. So finally, you guys, if I do resonate with you as a reader, I invite you to go ahead and check out my website, shadowandshine.com, and you can book a private reading right on over there. And there's all kinds to pick from. It's a great way for me to be able to help you on a more personal one-on-one level on your journey, which I would be honored to do so. So check that out if you feel called to do so, shadowandshine.com. So yeah, that's basically it. That's basically what I have here for you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, Barbie-filled, fun kind of day. So yeah, that's about it. I'm sending you guys lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling. Hi, Pile 4. If you chose this pink cluster of a group of crystals here, this pink quartz, very hot pink, very bright, from Amazon, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out which Barbie you are. I'm so sad that this reading is almost over and I'm on the last group already with you guys because it's been such a fun reading. Anyway, the very first card that we have for you guys is your Barbie card, basically. When I came up with the idea to do this reading, I really wanted to incorporate some kind of like Barbie cards in this reading. And of course, there's like no Barbie Oracle deck. But there's lots of like Barbie playing decks, and I found this on Amazon, the Barbie movie Uno deck. So I was like, you know what? Why not? We'll take it. There's lots of different Barbies in here, and so far the other 3 Barbies, they were all very unique, all very different. So I'm excited to see which one you guys got from this deck. So let's see, which Barbie did you guys get? Oh my gosh! You got like the same one as Pile 3. That's kind of crazy. Like literally the exact same one, the exact same girl. So same girl, same color, green, reverse. That's just a little wild right now. So if you were someone who felt drawn to pile 3 as well, you may want to go check out pile 3's reading, because there may be similarities here between pile 3 and pile 4. I don't know. Which is funny because this Barbie felt very ambiguous when she came out, simply because most of the Barbie cards in this deck, there's actually lots of different Barbies. So the fact that like you guys got like 2 identical cards came out is kind of mind-blowing to me, because I shuffled those cards and I shuffled them good. So this is kind of surprising, but you know, Spirit is going to do what Spirit's going to do. She's obviously here for a reason. She definitely has kind of like a more chill and laid back kind of a feel. She's just kind of like wearing, it's not like a onesie outfit, but it is definitely an outfit that matches itself. You know, she's kind of just chilling, hanging out. She's got her glasses on. She's got, you know, these curly tendrils coming down from her hair. But she looks happy. She looks peaceful is what it comes down to. So we're just going to go ahead and pull some cards here of what you guys already have in your pile. And we're going to learn more about her. Who knows? Maybe she'll wind up being a little bit different from pile 3. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be a lot of similarities. We'll see. But the context around the rest of these cards will definitely give us some hints here. So first up, we have some cards here from the Ice Cream Oracle, because I felt the Ice Cream Oracle was very Barbie-esque. So let's see what you guys got. Coffee, adrenaline, motivation, activity. Rainbow, self-expression, diversity, and pride. Maple, kindness, friendship, support. And cherry vanilla, love, passion, and relationships. Okay, so there are a couple similarities, not completely identical to how pile 3 is, but we're going to get into coffee and maple first. Pile 3, it was a very like grounding type of energy that came through for that group, and the coffee and maple cards kind of give me that same vibe. So number 1 here with coffee, obviously, I feel like you're someone who's very self-motivated is what it comes down to. Like when you have a goal, when you have a dream, when you have an aspiration, you're not someone who just like sits around on their ass and thinks about it, talks about it. Like you do something about it. You go for it. There's a plan. There's activity. There's actual motion in the motivation is what it comes down to. You're charged up here, just like the coffee. And with the maple, kindness, friendship, and support, I feel like at the end of the day, like this is just who you are. Like you're someone who's very sweet. You're someone who's very caring. You're someone who kind of like puts your heart on your sleeve is what it comes down to. And you just love and care for everyone. I think, I want to say it was pile 1, because I've been doing this a while now. I think it was pile 1. They kind of had like this mothering, nurturing element that came through in their reading as well. And I almost kind of get like that same mothering, nurturing kind of vibe. With that kindness, friendship, and support card from Maple, you know, it's like you just want to make sure everyone's going to be okay. So you kind of have like this nurturing soul, this nurturing spirit, where you as well may be kind of like the mother, the mom of your friend group. If you're not already like a mom yourself, like you're just kind of like a mom in all situations, whether it's like at work or in your friend group or to your like your actual kids, or maybe you have fur kids that you're that way towards. But definitely someone who is like super kind and super supportive, and it's like you're super sweet about it too. Just like maple, when you think of like maple, you think of like maple syrup going on pancakes and waffles, and obviously it's super sweet and super sticky, and there may be like this super sweet and sticky, sappy kind of side to you, and in a lot of ways, people may think like, oh, she could never hurt a fly because she's so sweet, kind of thing. So yeah, and I feel like another reason why people may kind of pick up on that with you is also the cherry vanilla card, love, passion, and relationships. So I feel like there's a bit of a romantic inside of you as well. So aside from like, always being there for your friends and your family and, kind of having like this mothering, nurturing side to you, I feel like you're a big believer in love and romance. And in today's society, that's admirable. I will say that much. That's admirable. I feel like modern day relationships have given us a lot of reasons to not believe in fairy tales anymore, to not believe in true love. There's a lot of people who are very damaged from relationships, whether it's because of very extreme negative experiences, like actually experiencing abuse, or whether it's, being involved with a narcissist, or, even if it's nothing to those extremities, and maybe you were just, involved in a relationship that, it's like it eventually just fizzled out and people go their separate ways, even under amicable terms or whatever. But there's so many reasons the world gives us to not believe in love anymore, and you are one of those hopeless romantics, and you're like, I don't care how many breakups I go through, I don't care how many relationships I go through, I know that one person is still out there for me, kind of a thing. And it's like when it comes down to your friends and stuff, it's like the same thing with them. It's like they go through a breakup or they go through something with a guy or whatever, and you're always the first person to speak up and be just like, I know someone is still coming for you, I still believe in true love for you. Like there's always that friend who says that, and I feel like you're that friend who says that. It's like even if your friends have completely given up and they're like, nope, I'm done, I'm perfectly fine with like living with 500 cats and that's the life I want, and you'll be that one friend who's gonna be like, no, you're not gonna live with 500 cats, he's right around the corner. Whoever he is, he's right around the corner. So yeah, I feel like you're that kind of person. And sometimes people may take that the wrong way. They may not necessarily be ready for it, but I feel like you're genuinely coming from a good place, though, because you believe in love. You believe in love. It's like there's almost like this childlike perspective to it. It's like a childlike kind of faith. So I don't feel like it's coming from a harmful place at all. So it's actually very innocent and it's very beautiful, and I almost kind of feel like if more people had that kind of rose-colored view, and I'm not saying we should just put on rose-colored glasses and ignore bad situations when it comes down to love, of course we shouldn't, but I feel like maybe if we looked at things just a little bit more rosy than usual, maybe people would actually find happier situations in love. So there may be a point in how you feel. Maybe not to the extreme that you do at times, but there is value in that. And then we have rainbow, self-expression, diversity, pride. Of course, you could look at this taco and like literally think of like LGBTQ plus kind of situations. So if that applies in your situation, by all means take it. If it doesn't, no worries. I feel like it's basically kind of just reiterating the fact that, it is important for you to express who you are, even if it is unique and even if it is different. Be that rainbow in the mixture of clouds is what it comes down to. I mean, look at her. Does she look like a cloud? No, she looks like a happy little rainbow. So be the rainbow in the mix of all the clouds. Okay. We also have some messages here from the Millennial Oracle. And you guys got, okay, boomer, outdated opinions, out of touch, close-minded, older person, resisting change. Okay, so this is all about the boomers in your life. So, once again, I don't feel like that this is you, someone who has so much inside of you, to be kind and supportive to others, to have such like a rose-colored glasses view of life, and to express that well, is not someone who's going to have boomer mentality. But you could have people around you in your life who have boomer mentality. They don't even necessarily have to be boomer age. I mean, they could be. This quite literally could be talking about parents here or grandparents, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to be someone who maybe thinks a little bit more conservative than you do, someone who does have outdated ways of thinking, someone who's not very like open-minded to new ways of thinking is what it comes down to. So there could be someone in your life that maybe you have a little bit of a struggle with there. That could be possible. Insta famous. Many look up to you. Public recognition, the spotlight, famous, popular, Instagram fame. So that's interesting. I want to say it was the last pile. I think they got something about being an influencer, and now we have Insta famous coming through. So, I feel like you are, and it's funny because I feel like every group, whether it's been something specific like this or something else, I feel like every single group has almost had this element of like someone who is on stage, or someone who has an online platform, someone who is in the public in some way, shape, or form. So I don't know if there's someone out there watching these readings who that resonates for, but you may be someone who has a public image of some sort. Now, this doesn't mean that, like, you have a huge following on Instagram like Selena Gomez or something like that. No, but, you're small, your following may be small. It could be very niche. It could be just like a dedicated group of people, and that's okay. But influence is influence, and being out there and putting yourself out there, expressing yourself and putting yourself out there in a public platform is an act of vulnerability, especially if you are showing that authentic side of yourself, which I feel like you are. I don't feel like you're someone who is putting on a persona or anything like that. And sometimes the more, I like almost burped there, sorry. I'm being authentic with you guys right now. Sometimes I feel like I have to burp or I have to sneeze or something like that in the middle of a reading. Anyway, but sometimes when we are authentic like that, most importantly, the right people are going to vibe with you and click with you when you are authentic like that. But, there's always going to be these okay boomer type of people who are going to come out of the woodwork and are going to try and rain on your parade, which is totally unnecessary. So, yeah. Let's see what else we have. Savage. Ruthless. Getting what you want. Don't give a fuck. Don't hold back. Tough skin. Confident. Badass. So this is kind of funny. Even though there's this very, very sweet side of you who is very kind and loving and supportive, who almost has like this childlike innocence about you in a sense, that doesn't mean that you fuck around. People can also fuck around with you and find out. That doesn't mean that you're a pushover. You may kind of have this appearance of being a pushover, but I feel like if someone pushes your buttons in the wrong way, they're going to find out the hard way and not enjoy it. So I feel like at the end of the day, you do have a tough skin. You are confident in who you are. You will be a badass if it's necessary to. I don't feel like you're just going to like automatically like let that person loose, obviously. Like someone has to, press the right code in order to bring that version of you out. But if someone wants to go there, you will go there. You will be savage back towards that person. You know how to defend yourself. Like I almost kind of get Cancer energy out of this. Like this is very much so Cancer energy, because when you think of a Cancerian, they can be very nurturing, very motherly, right? They can be very emotional. They can be very loving and supportive. They can have like this rose-colored glasses image of life. But you also have to remember that Cancer is the crab. And crabs have a hard shell. And if you push that crab in the wrong direction, that crab is going to bring out its claws and it's going to snap at you. So I feel like, that's that version of the Cancer coming out there. So you could be someone who has maybe some Cancer placements somewhere in your chart. Doesn't have to be Cancer Sun. Doesn't even have to be Cancer Rising. It could be a Cancer Moon. It could be a Cancer Venus. Could be Cancer Mars, but I do feel like there's something going on there in the Cancer department. And we have thirsty, needing validation, fishing for compliments, desperate, horny, too eager. So it's interesting. I feel like you guys may get a couple of different types of responses to your public figure type of platform. Aside from these boomers, you may also kind of get like thirsty weirdo guys that come out of the woodworks. So it's like if you're on dating apps, for example, if you're single and you're on a dating app, you may get a lot of weird guys who come at you, who like you. Like their greeting towards you, it may not be, hi, how are you? Or, hi, what do you like to do for fun? Or, hi, what do you do for a living? Or, just anything normal. They may be like, hi, here's a dick pic. So, so you guys, I feel like you guys get a lot of like interesting responses from people, that you invoke a lot of very unique and different emotions inside of people. But that's okay, because I feel like your authenticity, your uniqueness, it may stir the pot a little bit, but it stirs the pot for a good reason. And you can't control the weirdos, whether they're the boomers or the thirsty weirdo guys who may come out of the woodwork. Even if you're in a relationship, even if you're taken, that doesn't necessarily stop them either. Like, we live in a patriarchal world. If a guy sees a girl that he thinks should be his, he's going to try and like mark his territory and pee all over you like a dog, regardless of what your relationship status is. So yeah, anyways, I feel like you may just invoke a lot of interesting emotions and reactions out of people. But the important thing is there's a whole other group of people where I feel like those reactions are for the better. Like, these are kind of pointing out to you the not so great ones, maybe ones to just be aware of. But I feel like this is a small group. I feel like there's a larger group of people, though, that you probably attract in from whatever your public platform is, who really appreciates this kindness and this romantic view of life and enjoys you just like expressing who you really are and all of this adrenaline that you have to share with the world. And finally, last but not least, you guys, we have a Britney Spears card, because who else seems to embody Britney better, or Barbie better? Who else seems to embody Barbie better in a real life example from a celebrity, none other than Britney herself? So, the Britney you guys got was The Cusp. So this is from her single, Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. So obviously that's kind of like sitting on the cusp of something in life. It's like you're not completely one thing, you're not completely the other. Yeah, not a girl, not yet a woman kind of a thing. If you look at it from an astrological perspective, a lot of times people talk about being on the cusp, like, oh, I'm on the, like, going back to this Cancer example, maybe you sit on the cusp between Cancer and Gemini, or Cancer and Leo. But this is definitely in-between energy. But either way, this in-between energy, it's like, you're no longer who you used to be, that there's this version of yourself, that you have shed that skin, that you're no longer that person, but you haven't fully necessarily stepped into that next chapter. You haven't fully embraced the new version of yourself. So you're kind of like in this weird in-between area. So I feel like that's what this mainly applies to here. So you may be in kind of like this in-between time, but that's okay. You know, if you do feel like you're in an in-between, a transitionary type of time in your life right now, embrace it. You know, enjoy the last bits and pieces of the chapter you're leaving behind. And if you're not completely ready to nosedive into the new chapter yet, that's okay. Take baby steps into that pool, you know. Get your feet in first, get your feet wet, walk in a little bit further. Next thing you know, you're up to your calves, up to your knees, up to your thighs, up to your waist, so on and so forth. You know, take your time as you transition between things and enjoy that process. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, being an in-betweener can definitely be very weird. I mean, I myself, I am not a cusper when it comes to astrology, but I'm definitely a cusper when it comes to generations. I am what they call one of those zennials, and one of those people born between like 1975 to 1985. So, you know, we're too young to really be considered full-blown Gen X, because, you know, we were like in elementary school and stuff when a lot of like the mainstream Gen Xers were really like coming of age and that kind of thing. But we're not like full-blown millennials either, because it's like we're a little bit older than the typical millennial, but we've also experienced a lot of the same experiences millennials did. I almost kind of feel like zennials are the ones who kind of like led the millennial movement. Like take Britney, for example. Britney is a zennial. And, you know, back in like 99, 2000, around that time, it's like older millennials were the ones who were like leading the cultural shift and leading the cultural change, like Britney, and she is a zennial. So she is a cusper in a generational sense herself. So I personally can relate to that as well. So maybe you're a cusper even in like a generational sense. You know, maybe you're a zennial. And it's funny, there's two different versions of zennials. There's the version that I'm in, and then there's the other version that begins with a Z instead of the X, and that's the crossover between millennial and Gen Z. So anyways, I don't know what they're going to come up with for the ones between Gen Z and Alpha. We'll find out. But anyways, I'm rambling. That could become a whole other separate tangent on its own. Sometimes that happens. I do that, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys enjoy my little rambles here and there. But that's basically what I have for you guys here for What Barbie You Are. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. I definitely enjoyed doing these readings tonight. It was a lot of fun for me. These fun, super quirky ones are always super fun for me to do. I hope to do more of them, obviously. So yeah, that's basically what I have for you guys. If the message didn't flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did resonate, let me know and drop me a comment down below. And now you know if it does resonate. So yeah, that's basically it. And as always, you guys, I ask you to please give this video a thumbs up. That helps me to be seen in the YouTube algorithm. And if you have not already subscribed, I invite you right now, before we end this video, to go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. because by hitting the notification bell, you will be informed and up to date every time a new update goes up on the channel in the first place, so you will never experience any FOMO for yourself. And yeah, so I appreciate anyone who is a returning subscriber, of course. I love you guys. You guys mean so much to me. I always feel it's definitely important to drop you guys a little shout out before wrapping up any of these readings. And if you guys are interested in a private reading, if I resonate with you as a reader and you feel called to do so, to check out a personal reading for yourself, head on over to my website, shadowandshine.com, and you can get a personal reading over there. There's a whole bunch of different readings to choose from, and I would love to be able to assist you on your own personal journey, and that is, of course, a great way to go about doing that. So once again, that is shadowandshine.com. So I want to thank you guys for stopping on by, checking out this video, of course, and I wish you guys a wonderful Barbie-tastic week filled with Barbie-fantastic fun. And that's basically it. So I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling.